Guys, you ever notice that the United States dominates the Olympics? We always come out with the most amount of gold medals. Why do you think that is? Well, for starters, I want you to pull up the United States Olympic team, and I want you to look at all the different athletes. As I was doing research for this video, I noticed that the United States has a very diverse Olympic team. Do you think that's the reason? I certainly think so. If this is your first time watching me, my name is Jay. I'm a former Green Beret. The intent behind this channel is to share my knowledge and wisdom with the next generation of soft soldiers. So if you haven't done so already, like and subscribe to help me reach that goal. I appreciate it. Guys, when you think of diversity, what comes to mind? In my opinion, diversity is just a fancy way of saying different. So why is diversity or different so important when it comes to the special operation community? Before we answer that question, let's look at the military as a whole. We'll start macro and then work our way down to micro to see how along the way there's diversity or different in everything that we do as a nation. Let's start off with the national security as far as the different units that are responsible for the safekeeping and protecting the nation itself. Okay, so within that realm itself, you have diverse forces. You have different entities responsible for advising the president on how to solve different issues on the national level. So if you look at it, you have the DOD, which is military. You have the FBI, you have the CIA, you have the NSA, and a variety of different entities. So at the strategic level, you have diversity. You have different units responsible for doing a certain job. Now let's dive into the DOD because that's the space that we operate in. So looking at the DOD, what do you have there? You have diversity. You have different. You have the Army, which is responsible for fighting the nation's war on the ground. Then you have the Navy, which is responsible for conducting operation at sea. You have the Marine Corps with amphibious warfare. You have the Air Force responsible for conducting air operations. Then you have the Coast Guard responsible for policing up the perimeters of the United States. Then you have, I can't believe I'm gonna fucking say this, the Space Force, right? Responsible for conducting Star Wars-like operation up in space. So within the DOD, guys, we are diverse. Stick with me, guys. Let's dive a little bit deeper into the Army because that's where we are. Now, the Army itself is diverse. It's different. Why are all these units different? Because when we look at solving problems, we want to attack it from different angles, from diverse angles. So as it relates to the Army, you have the infantry. You have armor, you have special forces amongst other units that are responsible for doing different things. When the nation gets ready to go to war, all these guys are called up and they're asked for their feedback as far as how to solve or how to attack a certain problem. So now you have diversity at that echelon. Let's dive deeper into special forces, mainly because that's the space where we operate or where I used to operate. So now within special forces, you have a bunch of different units, diversity, different, responsible for doing certain things. Special Forces, Green Berets, we are expert at unconventional warfare. Navy SEALs, they are expert at conducting missions in the water. Combat controllers, they are expert at managing air assets. MARSOC, responsible for amphibious warfare. 160th, expert at flying helicopters. So at the special operations level, you have diversity / difference there also. Why? To better attack a problem. If we're going into a certain country to attack a certain problem, as far as special operations go, all the head of those units are gonna get called in and we're gonna war game and get feedback from different forces as far as how to properly attack that problem. So diversity works there also. Now let's dive a little bit deeper into Special Forces, Green Berets, because that's where we operate. If you look at the Special Forces ODA, it's also diverse in a manner that makes sense to help problem solve. Now, as it relates to the MOSs, what do you have there? You have diversity. You have different amongst the MOSs. You have your 18 Alpha, your 18 Zulu, your 18 Bravo, your 18 Charlie, your 18 Delta, and your 18 Echo. A bunch of different diverse MOSs, mainly because when it comes to problem solving, You're getting feedback from all of the different sectors. So back to the question that I proposed to you at the very beginning. Why is diversity so important? It's important because it allows you to find the best answer to a certain problem. You ever hear the saying that like-minded folks think alike? Well, that's true in the sense of if I'm from similar town, similar background, similar high school, similar upbringing, more than likely our minds are gonna think alike. So when we go to troubleshoot a problem, we might end up at the same result. And that's not necessarily a good thing. Having a diverse force offers us the best solution to the nation's problem. Have you guys ever heard of ethnic camouflage? Please let me know what you think that means in the comment section below. My explanation of it is putting somebody that belongs in that space to conduct a certain operation. For example, you take me and you put me in Africa, I can pass that test. I can pull that off because there's a lot of folks out there that look like me. But you take me and you put me in Ukraine, or you put me in China and some other place where I don't fit, and I'm gonna stand out. So having a diverse force or a diverse ODA makes sense from that aspect of it. Now let's look at the other side of it. Problem solving through innovative thinking. Now keep in mind, we don't always solve problems with the way that we look. We solve problems with the way that we think. However, having somebody that's diverse with a different background, different gender, different race, different upbringing, different religion is beneficial because they provide you a perspective that's different than yours. And when you have a team full of that, you'll be better equipped to come to a better solution for whatever problem that you're facing. With all that said, guys, how do we get to the point where we are diverse in special operations? I can tell you right now, having retired, that the entity that I retired from is now down to one African American. There are only just two of us as far as E8s go. I strongly believe that the best way we can attack this diversity issue is to, one, exposure, whether it's through social media or seminars. And the second way we can help combat this diversity issue is through recruiting. That's my stand on diversity, guys. I'm eager to hear what you guys have to say. So if you want to share anything, share it in the comment section below. I appreciate you guys tuning in, and I'll see you guys in the next one.